Hello, I just want to thank you for your support as we went to Latvia and Estonia, and just give you guys just a brief couple of updates from the trip. We did a youth meeting in a place called Yugova, and it was a pretty rural area, about 2 hours and change outside of Tallinn, Estonia, and we've made some really just delightful people, and we got to partner with a great church there. And one of the highlights was we shared some prophetic words with this young girl, and she got freaked out and she left the meeting because she thought that someone told us about her, but it was really God telling us about her because he loves her and he's concerned with her. And so when we brought her back into the meeting, she gave her heart to the Lord. She got saved that night. And there was three young girls actually that got saved that night. And one of the leaders there Facebooked my friend Murillo, who is our ground contact in Estonia and our great good friend. She Facebooked him and said, "Can you guys prepare a teaching on the Holy Spirit, because we've never heard of him?" And when I heard that, I was totally blown away. I mean, we were going to a place where some people who were in church never even heard of the Holy Spirit. And so that was like really blew my mind. It was like right out of the book of Acts. So that was one of the highlights of the trip. And then we were in an adoption home where the kids from this home were in the home because they've been thrown out of other orphanages. And so my brother and wife did an amazing job of just doing some worship real quick. And then I shared like a very brief gospel message and started giving some words of knowledge to this woman who was a psychologist and who was the caseworker for the children. And she just breaks down and just starts crying, and she gets saved right then and there. She just gives her heart to the Lord. And then we get an email, Murillo gets an email the next day that 2 hours after that woman was saved, she was already telling all the kids about Jesus. And so it was just an absolutely wonderful trip, and we want to thank you for your help, for your prayer, and for your support, because we could not do it without you. And so again, just thanks for your love, thanks for your support. We appreciate you.
So we recently went to Estonia in the Baltic region and just had an awesome time. And there, the way that God overwhelmed us, at least in my perspective, was just the response of the people there. Of everywhere we went, it just seemed like the next day we got a response in maybe email form or Facebook message form of how people were touched, how God was breaking in for them, how God was meeting their need. And it was just so awesome. And some of the stories that I wanted to mention was one when we were in Latvia. There was just an unexpected meeting occurred with some of the leaders there, and it just turned out to be an awesome night of worship, of getting to know them, just getting to know their hearts for their people. And it was just amazing time. They're just so opened, and just to see their hunger and their willingness just to move on, and it was just so great. And then the last story that I want to mention is on the last night we got to minister to this girl, this waitress at this coffee shop we got to go to. Really cool coffee shop, like this almost felt like this medieval basement in a way. And we noticed her, and just God just like highlighted her, and we went up to her and talked to her, and we asked her if we can pray for her, and it was just weird because she totally froze up, and you can just see how the Holy Spirit was just working on her, and how God was working on her, and just even words we were saying, even though she wasn't saying much, and you could just see how God was touching her through her tears, and it was just so awesome and overwhelming. It was just so beautiful. So it was just really encouraging.
I just want to share a really quick story with you. A really cool thing that happened to us on a bus ride going from Estonia to Latvia. We met a young girl, and we just started talking to her and hanging out with her and getting to know her. She's from America, but she was working in Estonia. So later, as we got off the bus to go to lunch, we were like, hey, come eat lunch with us. And so she said, sure, I'll come do that. And we were just talking to her and hanging out with her. And then later we kind of parted ways from her. And then later we were in the bus terminal exchanging rides, and another gentleman who had a guitar with him, or some type of instrument in his case with him, he started to follow us for just a little bit, not quite as long as the girl, but followed us and talked to us and hung out with us for a little while. And it was just really cool and interesting to read the Bible and see a story in the Bible, like when Jesus said, come follow me, to start to happen in our own lives. It was really awesome.
Hey, I just came back from Estonia and Latvia, and we were in 3 rehabilitation centers, 1 Russian and 2 Latvian. These men really impacted my life because they showed their willingness to change and their hunger for God.